Hello and welcome to the 2.5 People Podcast Emergency Broadcast System. I'm Alex Leam.
And I'm James Beckett.
We don't have a guest 2.5 person with us either. In fact, we're not even upstairs at the Royal Standard for reasons to do with snow. And I don't mean cocaine.
But don't break the magic, Alex.
No, that's true. No, so it's basically, we just thought no to the roads, which is fair enough. At the moment, because as they were recording, this is when the snow hit. I'm a little disappointed by how little Armageddon like it was, because it was really hyped up in the news.
Yeah, I like the bit where we cancelled our guests, and then we decided impromptu to do this virtually, where we could have invited them.
Yeah,
but we decided not to. I don't know what that says about the guests that we booked.
No, so we're doing this. We're doing this virtually on StreamYard, which that name itself will give PTSD to a load of comedians who use StreamYard during lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've not used this since the awkward question time days. So
do people use this for gigs, like actual live gigs a lot, did they?
I think stand-up online was a very difficult one to get right after we used Zoom.
Yeah.
Then I found that StreamYard was good for panel shows and stuff like that. So in fact, all of the old jingles and stuff and little videos that I had for Awkward Question Time still here, including, if anyone used to watch Awkward Question Time, you'll know about the recurring meme that was out of context Graham Whistler.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
Okay.
There we go.
It's great because it is truly out of context, for me. So
it is. That was an effort. The context, I can actually reveal the context now, seeing as it's not professional. He was doing an impression of, that's a great moment for my mind to go blank. You know, you're about to say something and your mind goes, no, I'm going to show you up. I'm just going to go, yeah, the name of that famous person. He used to do a song where he would, it's good. No, I've got to look it up now because that's going to do my head in. I just know that he did an album called Electric Ladyland.
This really means a lot to you, doesn't it, Alex?
This is probably not even going to be... No, not Jimi Hendrix. Oh, good. Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, there we go. Wow,
yeah.
That's cool.
Right. Yeah, so that was his impression of Bob Dylan.
Right. Very good impression now.
Clipped out of context. Also still here. I just thought all those years of binge drinking finally caught up with me. My memory's knackered. Also still on here is from the Awkward Question on Christmas Special 2023, when George was in Panto in Northampton and sent in an awkward question. So this is George's awkward question from 2023.
Hello, Cheeky here. Just on a break from mining diamonds, I thought I'd ask you a quick question. What is your best Christmas cracker joke? See you later.
He did it in character as well.
Nice.
I could actually see your flesh crawling.
I feel violated, Alex. Honestly.
I love the little noise as well.
I've talked about this with regards to yourself, but I don't know if I trust him around my kids now. That's awful. That's really bad.
And you
say he does this professionally, right?
Yes, he's an actor.
Wow, people pay him for this.
Yeah, from the Facebook chat we're having earlier today, clearly he was getting a bit tired of our shit.
Yeah.
He was bordering on stropping. Going off.
He's a bit of a diva, isn't he, George?
He's had solid work for 2 and a bit months, so it's his ego is the largest thing about him now.
Yeah.
So we know that we can talk shit about George while he's not here because he doesn't fucking listen.
It'll be weird if you started watching this podcast and you didn't know who we were and just hear us talking about this dwarf all the time and being quite mean about him. You know what I mean? It must seem a bit odd.
He better really bring his A game when he reappears on this show. How many episodes in are we now? And he's not been in it.
This would be technically, I want to say number 7.
Because that would be such a disappointment if he's on it and he's a bit shit.
Yeah, I mean, we can just get Peter Dinklage or something instead if he is, so it'll be all right.
That's true. Or just get anyone to tie their shoes to their knees and then kneel down to make it look like they're small.
Yeah. I think that's how we make it. On the back of that.
Excellent. I want to get your opinion on this. I used to have an option of people texting in awkward questions, and because one night during the latter stages of the lockdown, so early 2021, I was quite drunken on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good combination.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because you do wake up thinking, "Oh, what have I done?" And I bought a Nokia 3310.
Nice.
So classic. I charged it up when I got it in 2021. It's still got 1 bar left.
Oh, nice.
Now, so I said, okay, texting, so I got a SIM card for it. So I made an old school chat line jingle.
Okay.
Including visuals. So here we go. And it also includes me singing it. So this is the texters chat.
Come on, text awkward question time. 07852 52 13 27. 07852 52 13 27.
Don't call that number, kids. This is a repeat. That number doesn't work anymore. The SIM card died. So that was, I think, quite a faithful reconstruction of the late night chat line adverts that we used to get.
Yeah, that's pretty bob on. I'm impressed with the VO. Look at you, Alex, eh?
Thank you very much indeed. Have you ever had a questionable drunk purchase online?
Yes. There was a very specific incident that happened to me. I want to say this must have been at least, it was over 10 years ago. I was in my 20s, and I remember, so I was on a night out and I got quite drunk. And, that kind of drunk where you're, kind of hazy on specific details of what happened. And then you kind of wake up and you kind of slowly start like recalling stuff. You're like, oh God, that's awful. Well, I remember checking my phone in the morning and checking through my emails to see a bunch of emails where there was a flight ticket to like Copenhagen in my inbox. What it turned out it had done is when I was drunk at about a month, so it was timed, it was booked about 3:30 in the morning, where I booked myself a flight to Copenhagen for 2 weeks' time. So it was due to take place 2 weeks after the day. And the irony was I booked it. It was flying out at something from Heathrow at like 8:00 in the evening the previous night, and then the return flight was like 1:00 in the afternoon the next day. So if I got there and did that, I would have literally spent about somewhere between 6 to 8 hours in Copenhagen before I would have had to come home. So I ended up not going, and I couldn't get a refund on the tickets. But yeah, that's like the weirdest purchase that I've unaccounted for. I managed to lose £235.
I think you win drunk purchases.
Yeah, I think, and you know what the working theory is, that I don't know where a Copenhagen come from, but we assume it's from like the back of a beer bottle. That's the working theory of where I got Copenhagen from. That perhaps I saw it on a beer bottle and thought I'd never been to Copenhagen. Maybe I should go to Copenhagen. And yeah,
nice. The one that used to get me, and it was so easy to do. So obviously the days before Spotify was a thing, was iTunes.
Oh yeah, I remember iTunes.
Yeah. So when it's like 79p, download the song. If you add 1 or 2 drinks and you're on that reminiscing, you go, oh, I remember that song. Oh, it's 79p. What's the worst that could happen? And yeah, you could easily then like do 50 quid on just downloading a load of random tunes. And then you see,
microtransactions, aren't they? That's what they call them, where you're spending so small amount you don't realise how much you're spending by the time it all adds up.
Yeah. Clever. We live in more enlightened times.
Yeah, we don't do that now.
No, we've got other vices instead, which are questionable. Yes. So, talking of which, there's some smaller jingles which could be resurrected for the new podcast, including the Family Fortunes Wrong buzzer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Well, okay.
Actually, I even paid for an American voiceover man from Fiverr to do these. this is obviously before like AI voiceover stuff.
Yeah.
Really good. So
I've used like Fiverr for a lot of stuff where you just outsource it to someone who's going to do it for like £9.40 or something. You know,
so there's no way we could like synthesize an American voice like you can get with 11 Labs.
Yeah.
But no, I had like several sessions with him during lockdown for some reason.
Ooh, it's a deep burn.
He did have a very good showreel as well. He'd even done something like the major TV networks for the sports coverage in America. So I don't think he was cheap.
No,
from what I recall.
no.
So I think like just
Was he
this
worth
session.
it though?
He was good. He was good. He was very good. I just think that now I've got all of this session time with him, I could clone his voice on 11 Labs. So
And that'll be
ethically dubious is all right by me. Is absolutely fine. So as we are sort of winging it, as this is the snow day episode, we'll call it.
Oh, I like that.
The snow day episode, the emergency broadcast. So all of the regular features which you've come to love are not here. Although, is it time for us to finally get out there our own pet peeves? Because we've been asking our guests.
That's true. Yeah.
Is there anything in particular that really grinds your gears? So we're not having any prep for this. We're just going to raw emotion.
Right. I'm going to raw dog it and just see if we can just.
That's the best way to pop it.
Pop out our pet peeves.
That's too many P's for somebody with a stutter.
Yeah.
Pace yourself.
And thanks what is this call it like bugbears, and I really think we should start calling it that because I do like that.
Mm.
It's annoying when someone else like comes up with an idea that you really like because you really want it for yourself, but I think we should call it like bugbears.
Bugbears. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is slightly not topical anymore because we are like 3 weeks after Christmas.
Yeah.
But the one thing that has always wound me up is Whamageddon.
Whamageddon. Okay.
Before I go any further, have you ever played Whamageddon?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Okay. Right.
But I stopped.
Good. I think with the run up to Christmas, there's a lot of unnecessary angst and lots of stuff to get stressed about. Why pour extra stress onto yourself by refusing to listen to Last Christmas by Wham and trying to actively dodge it? I mean, I've heard of some people that take it so seriously, like they run out of supermarkets with their fingers in their ears.
Mm-hmm. Actually impeding their life. So
they
can win this game.
So it has always just puzzled me why, because even if you do get to the 24th of December without hearing Wham at all, what's your reward?
Yeah. I mean, is the reward not hearing Wham? Is the reward and the challenge all wrapped up in the same thing that you've got for Christmas and you didn't have to go through the torture of the song? I think that's the point, right?
Frankly, I want George Michael in my life.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I'm like fairly like indifferent when it comes to George Michael. You know, neither offended nor really excited by him. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I do one, you do one. Let's switch off back and forward. Right. Pet peeve or bugbear tennis.
Oh, okay. So what really frustrates me? Arts and crafts. Arts and crafts really fucks me off. Like,
why's that?
I don't know. It's just like when I was a kid, I used to hate it. Anytime it was like, "Come on, guys, let's get round with some glues and some like felt tips and make a picture of a bloody like bus or something." It just nothing was less appealing to me or less like fun to me as a child as doing crap like that. And now, as a grown up with my own kids, anytime where we're out doing, you go to like a family camp and they'll have like an arts and crafts like session. I try to pretend I enjoy it, but it's the only time I feel like I'm genuinely like faking it in front of my kids. Like, I really have to work hard to get through an arts and crafts session. I absolutely despise it. It's the most pointless thing in the world. Did you like arts and crafts as a kid? Were you a fan of it?
I was a fan. I keep a hand in. It's got a mindful activity. I I liked it because it was a good distraction from stuff that I'm bad at, like maths.
Right. Okay.
So so for the PVA glue and the glitter to come out, I thought great.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah. No, I see. For me,
Pipe cleaners, heaven.
Yeah. No, I just tried. I think it's probably for me. It was the other way around. It's because I wasn't very good at. I wasn't very arty, so I hated it. Whereas I was relatively okay at maths and things like that. I was kind of like competent enough to not have to. But I can't draw. I can't do anything that's involved any kind of like a visual art. Outside of maybe being able to do like a really good like font. I'm able to do the good font. I'm really fun with it. Can't do anything.
Hang on, check your connection because you seem to be the sound's really.
Oh, did you get a bit spotty there?
Yeah. So just give that back in so you'll be able to splice it in again.
Back in the room, right? No, I just sort of saying that artistically, the only thing that I'm very like confident at is I'm very good at like choosing like a font. I pride myself on the ability that I've got like a really good eye for a really like good font, but outside of that, I cannot draw. I cannot do anything like artistic, like visually on the page because it's just not me at all.
That's
give me a try.
I went into graphic design as a career. But that's different. If you were getting paid for arts and crafts, would that make you like it a bit better?
No, not really. No, I get paid like for maths, and I quite enjoy doing that, so that's fine. I think it's just like it just depends what you enjoy learning about, isn't it? I suppose, especially like when you're a kid. I used to like things where they're more like puzzle based, a kind of logic based issues rather than here's a blank canvas, like do something creative. It's just, I'm all right.
I've seen that there's a trend on a lot of social media video sites, particularly like the short ones, of epoxy resin crafting.
Epoxy resin crafting?
I don't know if you've seen this. There's
no.
So there's a new trend. There's a woman who's Russian, which, well, that should be a red flag. But her entire career is making tables where she seals stuff in epoxy resin. So just like clear stuff that like.
Oh right, yeah.
Mold. Yeah, so she one that got the most views is where she like laid out a load of toy cars in this mold for like a tabletop, poured clear resin over it so it sets like glass, but it encapsulates these random things in there, and then puts table legs on it and sells it for like $4,000.
Wow!
Because like the process video that she does when she's showing how she does it, just like gets a load of people watching, and she's made a career out of it.
Do you think someone will buy our videos like for $4,000?
Well, when our Lord and Saviour George comes back, maybe.
Yeah.
Frankly, we're just the warm-up guys when professional actor George Coppin. Finally
we're like two bits of bread like rubbing against each other, whereas George puts the filling in the middle. You know, he's like
when he comes back, he'll be sat in the middle where the orange tipped mic is. The creamy filling in our Oreo sandwich.
Will we have to give him a booster seat, or
possibly? Because that booth we're sitting, if we both bring a yellow pages each, that will do the trick. Or if you take the booster seat out of your car, Don't know if we've covered actually what your kids said when they first met George.
Who's that bearded child? Was the first question.
Hello, cheeky here. Just on a.
I'm going to keep splicing that in. In fact, I'll get the sound effect of him going hee, and it could be now out of context George Coppin.
My favourite thing about that, Alex, and I don't know if I told you about this, but when he crashed in a caravan with me and the kids, like when we were up in Edinburgh, and they stole his like Ribenas. Just when he said it out loud. They were teasing him, going, "I've got your Ribena." It was a beautiful thing to see. I was so proud of them.
were they really rubbing in like ha ha ha?
Yeah, basically,
have a drink.
Dancing around him, happy with the fact that they literally started. They didn't ask him; they just literally just helped themselves and started drinking it and going, "Like, I've got your Ribena. What are you going to do about it?"
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just sort of like playing it cool, or was he visibly upset?
Yeah, well, he was playing it cool, but I could tell inside he was livid. Like, he was not happy at all.
Just a little team, just a few, just in the side of these. Let's see if we've got one more.
Have you got another pet peeve one that you really want to air out? What's really?
I don't know if you've covered this one already, but the Americanization of spill the beans.
Okay.
Which is now spill the tea.
I've not. We brought this up the other week. I've not heard of we didn't really. It was when we were with Stags when he was talking about it, but I've not heard of spill the tea before. I've never heard anyone ever say spill the tea ever.
It's Instagram's fault,
right?
Because there's a lot of American influencers who are trying to say how they do stuff. And they go, okay, so here we go. I'm going to spill the tea. No, it's beans you have to bend. So we've already gone through that one. Let's see if there's anything else that does grind my gears. It could be about the life of comedy and the life of a comedian as well, but you might rub people the wrong way.
I say go. I mean, who's going to fucking listen to this? Honestly, by this point, once we're beyond 5 minutes, we can be as racist or as misogynist, and we can say what we want. No one's going to hear it.
Welcome to the Reform UK podcast. Bloody Polish.
Yeah.
Do you know what really winds me up? Darkies.
Those ones.
I don't think it's a wind up, but the kind of the smugness of being further along in the comedy world, and then saying the youth and enthusiasm of the new comedians coming up and thinking, I was like you, Junior. I guess, I think that's more of a lament, I think.
No, it is. It's when you see that youthful energy, and it's not about like age. It's when you're into a new hobby and you've got a load of enthusiasm for it and very excited. Especially, like I don't know. I think you were there at this one. Obviously, I'm not going to name who it is, but I remember we were running a gig once, and a guy who I think it was he'd done less than like 10 gigs, so it was one of his very first gigs. He'd come up, he did a 5, he did pretty well. You know, it wasn't amazing, wasn't great, but it also like wasn't bad. So when you get someone who's done less than 10 gigs and it's not bad, I think that's actually pretty good, you know. And he come off and he was like buzzing. You could see it on him. You could see the energy of him, and he's talking about like talking about like Live at the Apollo. He's talking about like heading out on tour and all these things that he and I just think it's great when you've got ambitions and dreams, but it's so weird when you sit in the reality of grassroots club like comedy, and how hard that road is, and how much just from new act to just paid work is such a big jump, and it can take like some people can make that a move very quickly, and some people it takes years, and sometimes it's not always about how good you are, it's just about being in the right place at the right time or just knowing the right people, and like you don't want to break people's like bubble, but when you're living that and you're throwing yourself at that and you kind of know the reality of it, it is relatively challenging when you're culturing an environment where you do have a lot of new people with a lot of enthusiasm, that we run, me and you run like an open a weekly open mic, and we run like kind of 3 nights, and with that comes kind of like trying to support grassroots and new people, but just like with all industries, comedy is an open door industry, and that means you get all sorts, for good or evil. Yeah. So it's a brilliant thing. It's fantastic to watch. I mean, one of the things I love is watching the open mic and just seeing what the hell's going to happen, because you're either going to see a car crash or you're going to see something fucking hilarious, and that's what I love about it. But also, at the same time, I do share it with when you get these sort of high energy new acts in, and they're talking to you afterwards, and it's very ambitious and very kind of a starry-eyed, but you don't want to shit on the parade either, so you just kind of just sit in the corner and look like miserable and go, yeah. that's about it, really.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to be like Scrooge, but
no.
there's a little part of you that is wanting to go, just laugh in their face, but
yeah.
That's right. I'm 42 and I was bitter as fuck.
Yeah, that happens with age, and that you get people people having like hobbies and being enthusiastic. How dare they? You know.
Yeah. What they need is epoxy resin.
Mm. I like that.
I can't
That'll
believe.
help.
Yeah, I actually went down the rabbit hole of then looking at all that you can get on the epoxy resin crafting on Amazon. I mentally spent about 200 quid, but in the back of my mind, it's kind of like, if I could sell 4 tables like she does a month, woo. We're going to Vegas. I've just been upstaged by my fucking watch. Okay, no, I will not say that again. Sure.
No. I think that happened a lot as well. I would love to be upstaged like by my mum if she fucking like deemed to visit me. So that'd be nice. So at least you got a mum, Alex.
I was saying, what are you talking about? I think my watch, not my mum.
I thought you said your mum.
No.
I started to say like, what's she doing there?
Why do you think I was swearing at my watch?
I thought you were swearing at your mum. I just thought this is we know this is why we do this like face to face. I don't want to look into the eye of Alex Leam, you know, like what's going on behind the curtain. But no, it was your
we're
watch.
at an angle. Yeah, sometimes it says sorry, I didn't quite catch that. That's probably a good thing. Oh, just tap it again. Shush. Go away, Mum. Right. And you said StreamYard would be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. Although, if we want to make it sort of like the proper experience, we could have a break and then go downstairs for a drink and then come back up again.
Yeah. Let's have a break and come back. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can mimic the feel of the standard. Because we would have been recording this on Friday nights. There would be people downstairs. They've got some pre-done sound effects. So apparently this is intense applause. So.
It's that is fairly intense applause. You know?
Yeah, this one's called Bounce.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's how I'd also like to describe that sound effect, yeah.
Gong, so we could potentially do a gong show. No, we could not be there. That's people that start at gong shows. It's the comedy equivalent of generational abuse trauma.
Yeah. Although, like the sound effect would be great in that format, you know. That
would. In fact, we might use that to finish this episode with. I'll play the gong.
I like that, yeah.
This one's called Heartbeat Fast.
Was there a TV show that used to finish with a big gong after the credits? It really sounds familiar. Anyway, sorry. This is a real.
I forgot Bob Dylan. You can't really trust my memory.
Yeah.
The drum roll and bongos.
I like that you did the action.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you know,
really
in case you clip this, I went to the trouble of putting this backdrop up and everything.
Yeah.
They also got background music so that you can play this in the background in case your show is quite dull. So this is lo-fi. So as a music bed.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Hello and welcome to the People. I like that. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's just try and make it sound then like it's some sort of like dream state sort of like thing, or you listen to when you go to bed. So if I just lean into the mic. Hey, you want to start stand-up comedy? That's fine. Be over enthusiastic with people that have been doing it longer than you. They love that shit. It just takes a year for you to be on the Apollo.
Quit your job in 3 months, you know that. Right. You'll make it.
So they've also got, this is apparently night driving.
I quite like this. It's a bit porny. I quite like it.
That's sending you to sleep if you're driving at night.
Yeah, but that's where I like to do my sleep, you know.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. That's well, the first driverless taxis have come in to play now, but you can get them for free in Las Vegas. So they're trying to get people to get on board, literally. So
yeah,
Yeah, so they're going rides for free.
I'd get in one, I think.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
Actually. Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
What's the worst that could happen? But it's America.
Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible.
Nothing happens bad in cars in America.
Yes, absolutely.
You're perfectly safe in a car in America.
Talking of which, obviously things that have been happening recently have been bad. Depressing to the point when I just want to bathe in all of the leftover Christmas alcohol. Found out that the fella that works for ICE, the one that did the shooting.
Yeah.
His name's been revealed.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Jonathan Ross.
You're kidding me, Jonathan Ross.
Seriously, look it up. Because Jonathan Ross was trending. A photo of him when he was on Celebrity Traitors. Just said, I know he was a celebrity traitor, but this is ridiculous.
It's like when Marvel was really kicking off, and it's like, oh, the next Marvel film's got like Chris Evans in it. I was like, it's got Chris Evans in it. Like, really? That will call me out a few times. Yeah. It's like, wow, he's really moved on, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's going to be a film about how he technically groomed Billy Piper.
Yeah.
Read his autobiography. I did. That's how we got together with him.
That's Marvel like Phase 8, that is. I think
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Getting really desperate then.
Captain Ginger.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a bit of a mad week, and it's one of those ones where I don't normally like to steer near the politics, but it's one of those ones where like you can't help but look at that. Because I don't know where, because like me and you never talk like politics, we never really get into it, but like I've always considered myself, especially now I'm a bit older, as what you'd probably try and define as like a centrist. So I try and find it hard to align to the left or the right or anything like that, and it's really, really challenging. But you can't help but look at what's going on in America, absolute terror in terms of like just the kind of like just a slow like sequence of events that have been kind of like panning out over the past like week, really. And you can't help but feel there's this just wider kind of push to create a lot of news at the minute, and it's working very well,
Yeah. Do you ever feel recently? I kind of feel nostalgic for the glory days of George W. Bush.
Yeah. You know what? It's weird that you said that, because I've been watching a lot of. I know this sounds really morbid, but I've been watching a lot. No, I wouldn't say a lot, but I've watched a couple of like documentaries about like the war on like terror and all that kind of stuff, like kind of like the post like 9/11 era, like the.
Hang on, your mic's going out again.
Oh, are we back?
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, start that way again.
Yeah. So I've been watching a lot of like documentaries on about like recently. I like the war on like terror, like the post like 9/11 era and all that kind of stuff, and specifically like the hunt of like Al Qaeda and stuff like that. And it's one of those weird things where you do look back on the Bush era, and I remember even then, because when Bush was around, it was I was kind of a mid to late like teenager, like early 20s sort of area. I wasn't that invested, but even I remember all the jokes going around of him about like some of the silly quotes he used to come out with, and some of the stupid stuff that he used to come up with, and he was deemed quite a stupid president at the time. But you can't help but look at him and look back now and be, wow, at least he had some like integrity to him in some way, or some sort of.
At least he presented himself in a more statesman-like way.
Respected that there was at least, I think even when he went to war with Iraq. Now I don't know the ins and outs in this. I'm not completely sure. I'm not sure if he got like a congressional approval for that. I'm pretty sure he did. He didn't just go into Iraq without any approval. I think that was congressionally approved and stuff like that. So at least he understood there was a process to be followed. Though you can argue whether or not the sum like result of that was right or wrong. I think in hindsight, everyone can say it was wrong. We shouldn't have gone to Iraq. That was a fucking terrible war, and it just created more problems than it solved. But at least there was all the checkpoints and the balances to make sure that at least everyone kind of went forward with the notion of the things for the right reasons. But like with everything that's going on at the minute, and how brazen it is in the sense of all this stuff about like kind of Greenland and all that sort of hoo-ha, and like Venezuela, where it is a bit of a land grab, where it's heading out there and saying that we're going to expand our territory and start moving us back to the world of empires that we thought we moved away from in like the 1800s. But no, we're hurtling straight back to the world of empires, and it's one of those things, especially with someone who's got kids, you're sitting here, fucking hell, where's, because the world's the world of like extremes and like, and the pendulum swings. And what I've been noticing is the pendulum has been swinging, but each time it swings a bit further. You know what I mean? Like, if you go chart the journey, from, going through the past like 10 years, like you look at like Brexit seems quite kind of mellow now in comparison to the stuff that we're dealing with and staring with like today. I remember all the Brexit like vote and how like divisive that was and how kind of like nasty people got about that. And that was for me one of the first like dominoes that kind of led us to here, because we had like Trump getting elected not long after that, and him going through his like first term, and then like you had the pandemic come not long after that, and then all the stuff around, what is the truth in this world where kind of social media has a huge hand and a huge like say in terms of what people can and can't see, the rejection of the mainstream kind of media, the creation of like alternative like facts, and then this weird like dystopian world that we find ourselves in now where Trump's coming for his like second term and it seems like the whole fucking world's gone into meltdown.
His first term bad at the time, but doesn't that seem...
That's what I mean. It feels like, is this what I mean? Like, it feels like each time the pendulum swings, it swings a bit further, I'm not sitting here kind of calling out like doomsday and saying, "Oh, like Trump's going to bring an end to the world or start World War III." They
have put the doomsday clock 1 more second closer to
I think you'd be stupid to say that he's not increased the risk of that happening sooner than later. And I think when you look at it from a more like futurist point of view, going, well, if this is the nature of like travel and the pendulum swings more like violently each time it swings past, where the fuck are we going to be in like 30 to 50 years time?
Hopefully, I'm thinking about the reverse effect, because a lot of these people that deal in these extremes, there's always somebody that wants to push it a bit further, and they never work together. There's always somebody that wants to be the big gun who wants to take all the glory. So that's happening with reform at the moment. So a lot of the Derbyshire councillors are now defecting to, I think it's Advance, a more right-wing version of reform.
Yeah,
so they're all splintering. They will all eat themselves eventually.
And on itself. Yeah. It's one of them where, it's a terrifying to see the extremes of it, and it's terrifying to see the divisiveness. And I think, do you think there's genuinely a chance of like a civil war, this ending in civil war, like in the US?
I mean, cause a lot of people of mine are saying, "Hey, America, we've had to have 200 years of you saying we need our guns. It's in the Constitution so we can overthrow a tyrannical government. Why aren't you doing that now then?"
Well, this is it. What's the point of the guns if you're not actually literally, for every checkpoint you can see it's like an authoritarian government where she's there repressing its people, telling lies and using every single thing it can to like politicize everything, and then in the same breath accusing the other side of doing the exact thing that they're doing consistently and repeatedly. And I'm not here to like defend the left, because I think extreme like leftism is sometimes equally like damaging and
and tedious. The thought did occur to me that if you are extreme in either one of the directions, you're basically the same thing, but you're just doing something different. Thought popped into my head that Nigel Farage is basically just a Wario Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, that is a great idea. Yeah. Or a Waluigi.
Yeah.
Because Wario is kind of a main character. Yeah.
Slimmer. Waluigi is slimmer.
Yeah, maybe like Boris Johnson was like Wario, who's gone past, and now we're on to Waluigi.
I found that their pre-done sound effects on StreamYard, there was more. I found that we could recreate what happened with the ice people in Minnesota with sound effects.
Wow, that'd be very respectful. Yeah.
That was police siren and then gunshot.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
that was man scream.
Yeah.
Let's go through the rest of the new ones I found. There's train whistle.
I don't remember a train in the.
Boo large.
I prefer a boo small. I don't
Yes,
like a big boo.
Same. Laughter on audience laughing. That's good. We could have canned laughter on a podcast. The timing there. The timing
Yeah,
there.
maybe not on the conversation that we just had. That would have been a bit weird.
When I was adding them in, I was just thinking, I hope this doesn't then play them, because if you'll suddenly go to laughter when you're making a really deep, meaningful point, that would be too much. Apparently, this is punch. I didn't hear anything.
Oh.
There we go. Perhaps I need to
click harder. There we go.
That's a tap at the window. That's not a punch.
Yeah.
Slide long.
I'd argue that it's a slide that's a bit too long to be able to be useful in a podcast. Really,
That's true. This is fountain. I'll turn that off. I need a pee. Explosion.
Okay.
Move away from the sound effects.
Yeah, he's got loads of buttons that he can click now. He's got overexcited, hasn't he, Alex?
Yeah. Yes. It's on my hands now. I'll go back to the gong to finish on. And I'm definitely going to clip this. I might even use this as my message alert.
Hello, Cheeky here. Just on a...
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the third video that we put onto the OnlyFans,
Nice.
for the private content.
Nice. Anything else to cover on our emergency snow day episode?
Yeah, I mean, let's try and finish on a more brighter note, because I kind of went on a slightly political kind of rant there, and that felt a bit weird. So
you feel better for it. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I feel like I felt a bit of kind of weight lifted on my shoulder. Yeah, let's see if we can finish on something a bit more lighthearted. And let's talk about a comedy. And I'm going to ask you, Alex. I'm going to ask you a comedy question on the spot. And give yourself about 20 seconds to think about it. What is the worst gig you've ever had?
Ooh. Right. Okay. There is a number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't foresee this ever leaving the top spot.
Okay.
So I had to suffer this gig with George. He was there too.
Mm-hmm.
As Denzel DeGristo and Roger Poulter. So it was in the West Midlands.
Mm-hmm.
And I always try and reserve judgment, and you should probably do this yourself. If it looks bad from the outset, you just think, give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how this gig pans out. It might be okay. So first red flag was it was in the main bar. I'm thinking, well, this can work sometimes if things in your favour. And there was a little stage bit. So when you see a stage, you think, well, they must have live music, therefore they're set up for live stuff. Ooh. When the promoter, who shall remain nameless, got there, the first thing the landlady said to him was, "This should better be better than last month."
Yeah.
Yeah. I will. Yeah, I'll let you know who this was. They're not promoting, and they're not very popular amongst anyone. He got set up, instead of using like a banner with his logo on it, he put his laptop and connected it to an old TV where a lot of the colouring was off. It took so much time for him to get this image up on this screen. But I think I've seen bigger iPads than this screen. It had like no impact whatsoever.
Right.
His idea of emceeing is, right, welcome to the comedy night. And our first act is, and that's it. That's all he did.
Really? Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. So they didn't turn off the TVs in the pub until the news finished. So the PA that he got was crap, was being drowned out by the noise of the closing credits of the ITN evening news.
Lovely.
Sorry. So it goes on. Myself, George, and Denzel refer to this day as Prawn Cocktail Crisper Day because of a truly dreadful act that was on in the midsection.
Right.
And I mean dreadful. I mean, we're all a bit crap when we start. We all learn and get over that. But I mean, even when we're at our crap parts, we like to think that there's stuff that we say that is funny.
Yeah.
Not from this dude. I'd say he was middle-aged. He goes up, says to the MC, "How long do you want me to do?" And the MC went, "Long as you like."
Oh, God, no.
Big mistake. He does this really long story about going to the supermarket to buy a meal deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's buying a prawn cocktail with prawn cocktail crisps and a drink.
Mm-hmm.
And this story, to get to this part that I've just told you, took him 15 minutes.
Wow.
No punchlines or anything. He's in lieu of punchlines, he thinks I'll just swear more. But me and a few of the other comedians were finding him so bad, he was hilarious.
So you were laughing and then he was encouraged by that?
Yeah. So what he actually did was, when the MC had to get him to wrap it up, he then pointed to where we were sat and he was going, "No, I'm staying on. They're laughing." That made us laugh even more because he didn't know why we were laughing at him.
Oh, God, no. That's so cringe.
It was so cringe. So then fella that was on after him was better and he did 10 minutes of Holocaust jokes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice. So there was a break and then it was me. I can't stress how much that I was on last. I was not headlining or closing.
Yeah.
I was on last. And it was abysmal by this point. There was a pissed brummy woman right at the back of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Who was so drunk she probably thought she was just watching the TV and she didn't like what was on. So she'd go behind the bar and go, "He's shit, he is." But I'm trying to talk. I'm live, I can hear you. And she went, "Sort your fringe out."
Sort your fringe out?
I've not got a fringe.
Okay, fair enough.
I've never had a fringe. So I did deal with that. This is the first gig where I've ever spoken to my lift while I'm on stage telling him to start the car.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was just saying, I said, "Rog, for God's sake, just get in the car and start it now. We are out of here as soon as I'm done." So yeah.
Because I've gone to a gig before where we refused to go on just because there was,
yes.
You remember, yeah, that one in that place that we won't name.
It was right to. You're absolutely right to, because the majority of the audience was made up of acts and they buggered off at the first section.
Yeah.
So
We were
there's
supposed to go there was one guy at a bar who didn't want to see it.
Yeah,
And that's it.
So the MC was like an incurable optimist. And, no, we still got a person. He goes up to me and goes, "Excuse me, you here for the comedy?" And then he replies with, "Yeah, but I've not seen any yet." Oh,
Yeah. Which, to be in fairness, he wasn't wrong.
it wasn't wrong, no.
Yeah, like, it's not what you say, but I don't agree with him saying it. But I don't agree. But I do agree with what he said.
Although the fella that did the name checking a famous Hollywood actress a lot of the times, he was still better than Chris Man.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. How about yourself? Is that what they're
Oh.
bad on?
Well, no, I think potentially the worst gig. Well, one I've seen devolve into the most chaos in the shortest period of time was the one I did in a Mickleover in Derby, and this was back in like 2011 or so, where we did a gig there, and there was a routine in particular that was performed, and this routine was a very abstract routine. I won't say who it was performed by either. I don't want to dob anyone in, but it was basically a routine about like children's like penises that was done, where it was a weird one about like Japanese like culture, how in their cartoons they have children's penises on display, but in our cartoons like they don't, and it was a very strange little rant.
Not being woke.
Yeah, it was I think it was an attempt at being very sort of like absurdist and stuff like that, and it was moderately funny, but probably not the right crowd of it. It was a very, kind of working man's pub kind of gig, that sort of thing. So obviously, crowd wasn't impressed. Landlady wasn't impressed. Whilst one of those ones where you see it all falling apart on stage. So a comedian's doing his bit. The audience start kind of saying, "Well, you shit. This is awful. This is great." And then it goes into active like booing, and then it gets to a point where a chair's thrown up at the stage.
Shit.
But the act still continues with this routine. Absolutely bought into it. Comes on. He goes off with a massive sort of booing. MC comes back on, tries to win the room back. Isn't having it all. We go to a break, and then effectively what breaks out is is effectively a big like fight between the acts and the audience. To which the landlady grabs us all individually and drags us out of the pub and throws us out. And to this day, we're still all barred from this pub in Mickleover.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, that would probably be the worst gig for me. Where I got punched in the jaw, which was nice.
Nice. You got Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, which was great. I took it with pride. Like, I think I took it like I took it like a champ. By a champ, I mean I cried and I ran out. I was like, no,
Well, I do the same thing.
I don't like getting like punched in the face, Alex. It's happened to me 6 times, and each time I really, really don't like it.
Can't say as I'd be fond either. You wouldn't like something, you wouldn't have to try it.
So I would not advise getting punched in the face if you can avoid it. Anyway,
I'll try not to. It's long overdue because I'm an obnoxious wanker.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow. So as we're standing at the moment, so hopefully things are looking up weather-wise. So the snow is going to melt. It's actually going to be a balmy 11 degrees by next week, and by next week, the 0.5 person is done with Panto and he's coming home.
Wow. We'll get Colin back.
Yes, he's coming home. He's coming home. Audience is loving that. Yeah.
That was Alex. I was really impressed by that.
Thanks very much indeed. Yeah. So when we meet again in person at the Royal Standard, where I might make George sit on the side because that angle is not a very flattering one for me, as I found in the pictures that have been shared.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Like I might come at this face on next time.
So yeah, you're gonna go from your better angle, which is directly face forwards, is it?
Yeah, face forwards.
Yeah.
Softer lighting too.
Okay.
Yeah. I might actually make an effort and groom myself.
Wow.
God knows where this is going. Anyway, yes, that's right. Yeah, we're going to the Gong. We're going to say goodbyes and then go to the Gong. Because haven't we planned nothing? We've nearly done a whole hour.
Yeah, that's not bad, right, is it?
So emergency protocol is in place. We'll do this again should there be more weather warnings or another pandemic. We're overdue.
Yeah.
For a pandemic. So, with that in mind, that is it from me and James as well.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. We'll finish with the Gong.